thank you for joining Waking Up with D. Today we're gonna do a vlog. It'll be just kind of short for this day. It's Saturday, right around almost 8:30 p.m. and I'm doing my gig, my new gig. I haven't done it yet in the evening like this. I'm glad that there's still light out. But yeah, we'll see how it goes, and I'll check back in hopefully once I'm done. Okay, so I finished my little gig. It's like 9-10 p.m. and as you can see behind me, it's still light out, which is really nice. And so what, I was only out and about for like 45 minutes. So if you guys need extra money, and if the background noise you'll hear is because my windows are rolled down, I have to put, like, I think it's Freon to help my air conditioner be better. Right now it's just blowing not much cool air, basically feels like hot air. So I'll try to speak up so you guys can hear. But yeah, if you guys need extra money, I know I'm sure since you're on YouTube, you've heard of all these different little gigs you can do out there. But while I'm talking about like me doing a gig for little extra money, I'm just gonna go over that with you guys in case you need to make a little extra money out there. So this is not like an all-inclusive list. I'm sure there's company names that I'm gonna forget, but some of these gigs are like Uber Eats, Lyft, DoorDash, Postmates, Grubhub. Also, you have different services where you can like walk people's dogs, you can house sit, you can babysit. So there's different websites and apps all for this. You can also put like furniture together. There's an app for that. I don't remember what that one's called, but there's so many different little gigs you can sign up to do. So one of those is what I'm doing basically. I would tell you guys exactly what I'm doing, but you can't trust just everyone on these interwebs, so that's why I'm not. But all I will tell you is this: if you do one of these gigs just for side money, not as like your main source of income, watch YouTube videos of people who are seasoned or like veterans in doing that gig. So if you're driving for Uber, look at the tips and tricks that Uber drivers, someone that's been driving for Uber, is offering on like a YouTube channel. I'm sure there's also like a lot of articles, blogs that people like Uber drivers have written. So search that on the internet for tips and tricks. The reason is, if you're just doing this for a little side money, you need to maximize the amount of money that you're making. You probably don't have a lot of time to work with. Maybe you do, I don't know, because everyone's circumstance is different. But the tips and tricks can really help you out, because and make sure like you can listen to a few different videos or whatever, get a feel for like if there's a trend with some of the tips and tricks. That is one of the first things I would do, maybe even before you sign up for one of these gigs. And the reason is, you want to make sure you have a pretty realistic idea of what you're getting yourself into. So with some of these services, when it involves your car, you need to also be aware, do you have a car that's fuel efficient? If you don't have a car that's fuel efficient, you might want to choose one of the gigs that don't require such heavy use of your car, like babysitting, like house sitting, like walking someone's pet or taking care of someone's pet, like putting furniture together. So you might want to do one of those services where you're less on the road. And because all that wear and tear to your vehicle and the gas it requires, if you don't have a very fuel economic vehicle, it's really just not, in my opinion, worth it to get one of these side gigs. And maybe this is my last piece of advice. Well, because a lot of these gigs offer a lot of offer flexibility. So if you have a full-time job, say you have a full-time job, maybe you're a parent, and you're going to school full-time, or a combination, right, of the three, right? The flexibility of the gig is really helpful, you know? But you have to be mindful of your comfort level. So, if, for instance, you're choosing to give people rides in one of those rideshare companies, like Uber, like Lyft, you want to make sure that you're comfortable with someone being in your vehicle with you, and you want to make sure you're comfortable with like the different aspects of what that gig requires. So some people just enter your car in whichever fashion they want, right? They might fidget with something in the back seat, like, so you might have to do more maintenance on your vehicle or have to report things to Uber if you have like shady passengers, basically, you know? So just keep in mind, like, part of these little gigs, there's always like the positive, the pros and cons, right? But think about the different aspects of it, because if you're okay giving someone a ride, but you don't want them messing with your vehicle, you maybe just delivering food would be better for you. So maybe doing Uber Eats, Postmates, DoorDash, Grubhub, maybe one of those would be better for you, because no one has to enter your vehicle. And then, yeah, so there's so many little pieces of information I can share. I haven't been doing it necessarily long enough to get more into it. Maybe I will in the future, like, be more transparent about which gig I'm doing. But I just want to let you guys know that I think that these little gigs can also be good for people who are maybe retired and who just want to get out of their house, because it gets you out and about and doing something different, you know? So for people who, not even just retired people, but just people in general who want to leave their house and be out and about doing something, this is one of these gigs is a good opportunity for you. But yeah, just be safe whatever you're doing. Be very aware of your surroundings with whatever gig you choose. I mean, you should be aware of your surroundings in life in general, but if you're out and about in different neighborhoods, if someone's in your vehicle, you know, you just have to, or if you're in someone's home babysitting or house sitting, you just have to be very aware of your surroundings and make sure that you feel safe and secure, because there's no amount of money that's worth your physical well-being, you know? Like, you have to take care of you so that you can still be around tomorrow, you know? So there's no amount of money where you want to risk doing things that you really don't feel comfortable doing. So that's why I mentioned a number of different gigs, is because there's a lot of different offerings out there, way more, I'm sure, than I even mentioned. So many different company names. So just check the apps that are out there, do internet searches to see what you might be interested in. But first and foremost, your well-being is more important than any amount of money you can potentially make from one of these gigs. So please just keep that in mind. But I'm glad, like, so far, hey, it's been pretty good, you know? And let me just their source of income, they are hustlers. So, on that note, if you use any of these services, if you ever Uber or Lyft somewhere, like if you're going to an event or if you're out drinking, or if you ever get like your food delivered through DoorDash, Uber Eats, Postmates, Grubhub, please make sure you tip, because a lot of these companies, basically, every company that I know about like this, you as an employee are considered an independent contractor. Well, what that means is you have to set aside money to pay your own taxes at the end of the year. It does not come from the amount that you're earning. So you want to make sure that, where did I start off talking about this? You just want to be very aware of that. Oh, okay. Because you already have to take taxes off the top of what you make. Because you don't have benefits. Which means if you're in the United States, that means you're going to have to pay for your own health insurance. Unless you have a spouse where you can, get their health insurance. But if you have to pay for your own health insurance through the Affordable Care Act, and you have to pay for the taxes off the top, if you're not getting tipped, you're working for damn near free. I mean, so please be mindful that if you're using one of these services, I understand that it can really add up to use these services, but these are convenient services. Like some people might really rely on it, like elderly people or people, and Instacart is another one. I forgot Instacart. How could I forget Instacart, you guys? I used to get my groceries delivered from there all the time. So now it's getting dark. Okay, but so I say all that to say these services are mostly convenient services for most of us. So if you can't afford to use the convenient service to begin with, and like to include a tip, then you probably shouldn't use a convenient service. And I'm just going to be real frank with you about that. And the reason is because I've done this gig firsthand now, and so I can see, sometimes people tip, sometimes they don't. And when they don't tip, man, you really feel it, like, because, like I said, it's damn near like you're working for free if there's no tip on top of it. Because these companies, really, the base wage is not that much hardly at all. And so, like I said, if you're full-time doing these gigs, you are a hustler. These people are hustlers, you guys. Like, I have so much respect for people that work like this. Not only do you have to be very independently motivated, but you just have to be like on. You have to really learn the tips and tricks to maximize the amount of money you make. So I've learned a lot through this. It's been a good experience. I'm not sure how much longer I'll continue doing this, but I wanted to share a little bit about it in case you guys need extra money. And also, hey, if you're a customer of one of these services, this is just a PSA reminder to tip these people well. I strongly encourage that. You guys. Okay, today I'm going to the lake with my friend. She's gonna drive, and we're going to Lake Coeur d'Alene. It's a beautiful lake in Idaho. Excuse me. If you don't know much about Spokane is very near the Idaho border. So it's going to be a really, really fun day. And now you'll see some pictures from the day we were at Lake Coeur d'Alene. It was a beautiful day. It might have been like 94 degrees Fahrenheit. I think around there, something like that. But it was a lovely, lovely day. The water was actually so nice, a little warm even. And these pictures show where we were. This is not one of the main areas where people are on the lake. This is an area where there are private docks, so you don't have a lot of like water traffic. You'll see some boats here and there and like other water equipment but you won't see a lot of activity right around here, which is really nice. The wind was kind of heavy that day. I might have a story time that I share about the day on the lake. I don't know entirely, but now you'll see some pictures, the drive leaving the lake. So you see these beautiful evergreen trees, and I just wanted to show you a little bit of the land. But it was such a nice day my friend and I had, and I hope you enjoy the scenery and a few of these pictures. I have a humongous drink full of caffeine that my friend introduced me to. It is called the Gem Berry Rebel drink, and it's blended from Dutch Bros. This is 32 ounces, my friend. It's like huge. I'm driving 3 hours right now. So, yeah. I need this drink. I spent the weekend visiting my friend. And, you know, I'm not counting family or anything, but as far as my friends go, she's been my closest and longest friend. I've known her since 2nd grade, you guys. Which is really awesome, you know what I mean? Because in this life, if we even have one really, really, really good friend, that's really incredible, you know? Because that's not, you know, people don't always have that. Okay, you guys, I wanted you to see the land here because it's very unique. Okay, so now I'm posting pictures of the weekend with my friend in Yakima. This is actually going in reverse order because the clips you just saw, the video clip, is when I was driving back home. These pictures are from, right now that you're looking at, are from when I'm driving to Yakima. I went the Tri-Cities way. So first you'll see a field, then you'll see sagebrush. This is when we're in the Yakima Valley, and this is a vineyard. Grapes are growing there. This is corn. In the Yakima Valley, it's known for growing insane amounts of produce. This is the Toppenish Ridge. I think it's a beautiful landscape right there. It's the best produce you can get in the world. I'm biased, but I believe that. These are hops growing, so if you love your beer, this is how beer is grown, people. And this is a lavender field. So we went to a lavender festival, and it was called the Selah Ridge Lavender Farm. It was really fun. My friend and her niece actually picked lavender. I bought a little lavender plant, but it was really fun to be out there. It was really hot. I believe it was over 100 degrees Fahrenheit that weekend. But as you'll see, the landscape and all the lavender plants. Then with my friend, her sister, her niece, and I went to Thai House in Yakima. It was really good Thai food. If I can find a link to their restaurant, I'll link it below, and I'll include the name of the dish you just saw. I liked this piece of art, so I wanted to include it. It was at the restaurant. And finally, you'll see lavender oil I bought at the Lavender Festival. I can't wait to use it. Today, I have a doctor's appointment. So, I have a new doctor today. And I'm nervous, but I'm excited too because I have some issues going on, and I know that sometimes I talk about my mental health, but sometimes I don't talk about how if you have physical health issues that are persistent or chronic, those physical health issues really can impact your mental health. And sometimes if people don't physically see what's wrong with you, someone I love a lot has really experienced this in real ways. And so there's folks out there who think if you can't physically see what's wrong with someone, oh, it must not exist. Like, oh, they must not be in pain. Oh, this must not be the case because I physically cannot see that ailment. But that's where you're wrong. Why would you not just give the benefit of the doubt to someone when they're claiming they have a medical issue? Like, it's not fun to go through life with physical ailments that can then impact your mental health. So if there's folks out there that like question people's physical wellness, you're not in their body, and it's honestly lacks a lot of empathy to behave in that manner. So we're gonna see how this new doctor's appointment goes, and I'm not always transparent about everything I have because these interwebs are not ready for the full effect of like everything I have. Maybe someday, I'll be willing to share. Maybe someday, I won't feel like, people will just make light of it or it's just gonna be a joke to people. But as of right now, I don't have to share anything with anyone. You don't either. If you have physical or mental health concerns, this is your body, this is your mind. It's not anyone else's business but yours. People will try to pry and pry and pry. And that's good for them. Well, let's get their investigative skills to use, right? But you don't have to. The people who behave like that, they're not welcome to know what I have. And I hope they're not welcome to know what you have either. Because if they can't just take for face value that you have medical issues or mental health issues and or mental health issues you need to tend to, that's on them, that's not on you, So we'll see you after I get through this appointment, won't we? We're getting an automatic car wash. I haven't done an automatic car wash, you guys, in so long. So I'm taking you for the ride. It's drying. You see that? You guys. So I'm running errands. I just got out of the doctor. I had a really great experience. So I actually had this provider listening to me and what I was going through. Like, she was just super efficient. She knew exactly what she was doing. She knew exactly how she was going to help. I was amazed. Like, I feel like celebrating. I shouldn't, but I feel like celebrating. I don't know what that would entail. I need to go home. But I might, park at the park, hang out, listen to the birds. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna live my life on the edge, like I normally do, living my life on the edge. Yeah, that's a joke, right? I am just so impressed, you guys. I cannot tell you how happy I am because it took about at least 4 weeks to get this appointment because they're so busy, and it also took me I don't know, you guys. I'm emotionally exhausted, to be honest with you. So I went into this new office, right? Well, let's call it a clinic, shall we? There was a guy already being held for one of the receptionists, and then a UPS guy came in with boxes stacked higher than him, taller than him, So the guy at the front desk, he thought it was an urgent care. It's not an urgent care clinic, so the receptionist recommended other places where he could go. So that conversation took 1 or 2 minutes, and then the receptionist spoke to the UPS guy to receive those boxes and deal with that, right? So when I got up to her desk, when she was ready to see me, one of the first things she said to me, oh, let me just stop for a moment, because, yeah, let me simmer on this, okay? One of the first things this lady says to me is, it's 11:15. If you would have been 5 more minutes late, that would not have given us enough time, and you would have had to reschedule. I was like, whoa, hello to you too. Hello, how you doing? So then I'm in my head, I'm thinking, so this is my first experience in person with this clinic, and she's about ready to just read me for filth, and this is the first time she met me. It's like, no welcome, no hello, welcome to this clinic. Oh, it's your first time here? Oh, great. And we're so glad to have you here, No, skip the pleasantries, right? She was just like, oh, well, if you would have been 5 more minutes late, you would have had to reschedule. Basically, she was just basically no nonsense. I get it. I got the text message saying my appointment time was 11:20. To check in at 11:10. I didn't get up to her desk until 11:15. Lady, I'm sure just because you didn't see me standing there doesn't mean I wasn't standing there at 11:10. To be honest with you, I don't know what exact time I strolled on in there, but I can guarantee you it was not 11:15, which was the time I was right in front of her at her desk. You know what I mean? Some people take a deep breath. Sometimes in life, I understand there's rules, there's policies, procedures. I get it. I get why they're in place. I do understand. But do you understand by behaving in that manner? That's the first time I'm experiencing it. You have no idea what I'm going in there for. You have no idea what my experiences have been like with medical facilities. You have no idea anything about me except what's on your little screen. Maybe what is on your little screen is something you don't like. So that could be one thing, you know what I mean? Sometimes, unfortunately, there are people in this world who, if they know you have a certain type of insurance based on your income, they might be a hater and they might be judgmental, which of course means they shouldn't be in that line of work, right? But I don't know what this lady's case was, but I did have to let her know that she was incorrect in a very subtle way. I said, okay, I forget exactly how I worded it, but I said, okay, I do understand. I was here prior to 11:15. I was standing there. She needed to know matter-of-factly that was what it was, and that's it. And then from that point forward, because I could tell that she was okay with speaking to me any old way and addressing me any old way, that she's going to get matter-of-fact D. So you want matter-of-fact D, you're going to dish it, you got to better be able to take it. Because when you're a professional in a professional setting, and I'm supposed to be your client, don't treat me like a piece of garbage. There's all kinds of professionals out there that thinks they can treat all kinds of people any which way for whatever reason, right? Whether it be their income because they see they're on a certain kind of insurance, whether it be their race, their religion, maybe they're dressed a certain way and they can tell what religion the person is. Whatever the case is, their age even, their ability level, their ability, it's not acceptable. That person is a professional, allegedly, and there to do a job. So if you're going to speak to me in a way that is like, oh, I'm going to show you, and it's like, lady, I understand you're here. You see people that probably make excuses. I do understand that. However, that's not the first impression you want to make with someone. So I'm going to be professional with you and matter of fact, because you're not jerking me around like that. So then what I also like to do when people think they can treat me any which way, let me ask what your name is? Because then it makes them pause and take a moment to like, oh damn, why does she want my name? Oh no, why do I want your name? No, the thing is, if I'm going to report someone on something, it's going to be for a really good reason. Look, maybe this lady had a bad day. I don't know what her issue was. All I know is I'm in a medical facility. You are there to perform a duty. And if you're not an empathetic human being, that's not my problem. So I will respond in the manner in which you treat me. So you're going to get matter of fact, baby. Don't treat me like I'm a dog. No, you treat dogs better than me, right? That's a whole other conversation, though. So anyways, so I was just like, oh shit, is this going to be my experience here? If this is my experience, let me just walk out this door right now. But the nurse, let me tell you, she was such a pleasant lady. Dang, she was pleasant. And the doctor was really awesome as well. So thank you to those two individuals for restoring my faith in humanity. I really needed that. There are ways in which I've been struggling lately that these interwebs don't need to know about. But for medical professionals to just treat me like a human being, like that really means a lot. I really urge anyone out there, I'm not saying pull an attitude with someone, that's not what I'm saying. When you see me, this D right here on camera, I understand that this is like a sassy person, I understand that I'm coming at you in a certain way, right? I don't approach a medical professional that way. But you need to understand, when you have someone in front of you, you have no idea what their medical issue is. You have no idea why they're there. You have no idea what they've been through. So if you're treating me lesser than, or automatically just telling me the rules as though I've already broken them or about to break them, that's a horrible first impression. And I will speak up for myself and advocate for myself. Because sometimes people in these positions think they can bully you around, boss you around. They think maybe you're on state insurance because you don't have a job right now. Maybe you have no income coming in. Maybe you have a little income coming in and are on state insurance. So sometimes people have assumptions about you and they're biased. And they think they can speak to people any which way. But I encourage you out there to be your own advocate, because no one's going to do that for you. So I just simply said, like, when she, I took a second to think, like she's already acting like I broke the rules, and I needed to explain to her, I've been here. So I said, well, I have been standing here prior to 11:15. I'm short, you guys. I understand that my physical presence doesn't always meet people's line of vision. I get that. I understand she was also busy with that one guy in front of me and busy with the UPS guy. But like, first impressions matter, and when you're a professional, just because you're in a different position and you're in a position of authority over the client right in front of you or the patient, that does not give you the right to speak down to someone, to already assume they're not following the rules. I guess it's just like we need to really be careful with how we work, like how we speak to people. You know, there's all this talk in society about words we use, but like, dude, the tone in which we use to speak to other people, and the whole power dynamic thing, man. I don't know about you. I don't know what you've experienced. Excuse me. Comment down below, though, if you have any stories, because, like, your healthcare matters. You matter. You're very precious, and you're there for services. So the folks in front of you need to provide a service. You're not being difficult by asking questions if you don't understand something. You're not being difficult for advocating for yourself. And like I said, this doesn't mean being sassy, having an attitude, or anything like that. What it means is getting to the bottom of the matter at hand. That's all. So I need to go rest because I don't feel that great. And this did get me a little worked up, you guys. Way too worked up, actually. And it just makes me sad. Like, these instances make me sad. Because I have a certain level of education. So, like, I've been in situations where I know how to, like, maneuver these situations sometimes. Sometimes I get taken aback and I don't know, and I'm like I'm like a deer in the headlights, you know? I was gonna say a duck in the headlights. But I'm like a deer in the headlights, and I'm like, ugh, what do I do, right? But other times, I, like, put my knowledge to use. And I'm like, well, that was not okay. So how am I gonna respond to that, you know? So I'm so thankful to God that, like, he was like, no, you need to step in and, like, let her know you've been here, you know? I don't know what she's going to mark down on the notes in my chart or the notes in the system. So, because of that, I have to use my voice. Excuse me. I have to use my voice, you know? And I hope that you know it's okay to use your voice. Sometimes, you know, it can be scary, and sometimes, like, we're told not to, or, you know, like, you're being difficult if you raise awareness to something. No, you're not being difficult. Being difficult is when you're cursing at someone, when you're calling them names, when you're, like, asking for something unreasonable. Like, if you're asking for morphine at an urgent care, that's probably not a reasonable request, right? I don't know. Just thank you so much, Jesus, for helping me maneuver that, man. Because it really didn't sit well with me. And honestly, even when the nurse called me back, I was so nervous that I was going to have a bad experience with the nurse and with the doctor. That I just was like, dang, why am I here? Is this going to be how this whole clinic is? But just remember, regardless of what station in life you're in, regardless of what income you have, regardless of what race, religion, gender, sexuality, ability, age, you need to remember that you're a valuable person. People in professional settings are there to provide a service. They are not there to be condescending toward you. So, if they're not being respectful, and you're respectful, right? Because some people don't approach professionals respectfully. Well, you got to come correct as well, you know? But if the professional is not approaching you in a respectful manner, or is already assuming the worst in you, it's okay to ask questions. It's okay to ask what their name is if you don't see their name tag. It's very okay. And I honestly like to do that because it's a very disarming tactic. Because once you ask what their name is, then they're wondering, well, why? And then sometimes that makes them check their own behavior. That's a pointer. Please think about doing that, because there is nobody in any position out there, I don't care what title, how much money they hold, it should be allowed to speak to you in a condescending manner or treat you disrespectfully. So please remember that. And I hope that when you're going out, going to the doctor, whatever, oh, excuse me, or whatever place you're at, getting customer service, I hope that you're treated well. If you've watched this whole video, OMG, thank you so much. You are a real one, and please make sure you comment down below the microphone, hashtag microphone. Also, don't forget to like, comment, share, and hit that notification bell so every time I upload, you are notified. And finally, there is only one you, so don't forget to take care of you. Bye, you guys.